Hey, coaches, welcome to another online clinic. Today, we've got Toledo Catholic, Central Catholic passing game coordinator, quarterbacks coach Josh Lindke. He's going to talk some RPO quarterback drills and teaching your quarterback to see pre and post snap pictures. So, Coach Lindke, it's all yours, man.
Appreciate it, Doug. First and foremost, I want to thank you and Football Scoop for having me on. So it's a really good thing you guys are doing amongst this coronavirus stuff. So hopefully we can get back to normal as soon as possible. Like Doug said, passing game coordinator, quarterbacks coach at Toledo Central Catholic. I've been around a couple different places. Started my career in 2013 at Anthony Wayne High School. Played for Craig Smith, and then was a receivers coach in a wing tee offense. So I've been a wing tee guy before. I know a lot of guys up in Michigan are wing tee guys too, but and then kind of had that wholesale shift change into the spread offense because I was able to go spend some time with Dino Babers and Mike Jinks up at Bowling Green State University as a student assistant, and that was a great experience. And to be able to just kind of learn, two of the most explosive offenses in the country at the time. When you talk about the air raid and the Cliff Kingsbury tree that Jinks came from with Mike Leach and those guys, and then talking about the vertical play action pass game. Listen to Sean Leota talk about the deep choice a couple of weeks ago. And we did a lot of that same stuff at Bowling Green with Dino Babers. We had Roger Lewis and Gary Dieter and those guys, just some studs that were, some big time players for MAC football. Matt Johnson was our quarterback. So being able to learn under those guys, a quarterback and receiver position, worked with Sean Lewis, who's the head coach at Kent, and Andrew Sauter and those guys. So being able to learn under those guys. And then, like Seth Dagey came in with Jinx, learned from him. It was just a great experience for me, and my X's and O's really grew at that time. And then I was able to be an OC at 23 at Toledo St. Francis, who's actually our rival at Central Catholic now. Was an OC for 2 years and kind of just learned trial by fire and kind of, mixed everything I learned in together and kind of, ran a multiple spread up-tempo system. And then now, coming over to Central Catholic and getting to work for Greg Dempsey has been huge for myself and my career. And just, learning the game over here with him and the culture and whatnot has been phenomenal. Just a little bit about our program. Toledo Central Catholic, those that aren't familiar, big-time program in Northwest Ohio, 4 state championships. Coach Dempsey has 3 of them, 19 conference titles, 8 NFL players, getting ready to have some more with Mike Warren here, getting ready for the draft. 21 state playoff appearances, 136 All-Ohio honorees, and 1 Mr. Football. So had the likes of Deshaun Kaiser and Dane Sazenbacher and like I said, Mike Warren and James Hudson and just some big-time players under Coach Dempsey's tutelage. And then most recently, obviously, played in the 2014 state title game against Joe Burrow. And it's funny because, our philosophy here at Central, we're a run-first team. We're a multiple spread offense. We like to run the football. And then we like to RPO people a little bit, and we like the air raid concepts as well. But we're definitely a downhill run-first team. And, that game against Joe Burrow in 2014 was one of the greatest high school football games I've ever seen, on television. I'm sure it was crazy to be there in person. I think Joe and those guys threw for about 500 yards, and us, we ran for about 500 yards. So big time game. Just some things that I've learned from different guys. I think it's important to note that anytime you work for a guy that you don't get along with or get along with great, it's important to flush out the bad and take the good. So Craig, I learned a lot of player relationship stuff from him. And then from Dino and Mike, I learned a lot about spread football and defenses, technique. My X's and O's game improved tremendously. And then with Coach Chip, I was able to be a first-time OC, and I just learned a ton of organizational skills with him. And then with Coach Dempsey, just learning the championship culture of Central Catholic and the work ethic that it takes to be a great program. So just a little quarterback quote that I like a lot. I think it's important to try to get your quarterback to, think like a coach. The more that guy can kind of break down the defense just as well as you can as a coach, and have him thinking and speaking the same lingo to you when he comes to the sideline is really key. So, the QB is ready to go play when he not only knows the what, but why he is doing it. Anytime, kids are so driven nowadays about why they're doing things, why they want to do this, why you're making them do that. So anytime you can give that player that information, I think is golden for you as a coach. So, and then when you talk about offensive philosophy, I think everybody's got these great ideas about philosophy and what they want to be. And then, I think it's important to just keep it simple for your kids. So a big one that I like to take away is just, we talk about plays, yards, and points, PYP. Everybody wants to stretch the field vertically and horizontally. We like to play up tempo, but we like to really control the tempo as well. So we've got different tempo calls and different colors. So that's kind of what we do at Central, and I think that's important. The days of just playing fast all the time are kind of going by the wayside too, because you got to be able to adjust. Defenses are getting too good, and it's trickling down in the high school game as well. Defensive guys are getting too good to just be able to play fast all the time as an offense, and not really develop that X's and O's. So plays, yards, and points. You want to run a lot of plays, gain a lot of yards and score a lot of points as an offense. That's big. Quarterback philosophy. We just talk about guys. We want them to be efficient and accurate, have big playability, be a competitor, and then you want that guy to have that difference, that swagger. That guy that can make plays for you. I think the days of just having a guy that can stand back in the pocket, or the days of having a guy that can't throw, are done. Your guy has to be able to do both nowadays. Defenses are too good. Coordinators are bringing pressure from everywhere, every which kind of angle. They're bringing, 7, 8, 9 guys sometimes. So it's important to have a guy that can move and then deliver the football as well. So that's kind of just something we look for in a quarterback philosophy. Just a little bit about our numbers this year. Again, I want to preface, we're not a huge throw it 30, 40, 50 times a game type of team. We still love to establish a downhill run. And I think when you talk about RPOs, establishing that downhill run is what you're trying to do first and foremost. So in 2018, not the numbers weren't great, didn't throw for a whole lot. And again, I'm not saying our numbers are off the chart now, but you can see the improvement and the difference in a year just from kind of adopting this mentality and this style of RPO and the quarterback drills that we've worked in, and this new age stuff that we're doing. So, the touchdown ratio went from 8 to 25, completing about 60% of balls per game. So, you can just see the difference what we did in the year. And I think that when you're becoming an offense that's going to run the football, that's going to throw the football more and kind of break out of that mold of running it all the time, you don't come out guns blazing. Coach Dempsey and I talk about it all the time. You don't come out guns blazing right away. In terms of just throwing it all over the yard, you kind of gradually work it in. And we never want to lose that downhill running component for us, that physical smash mouth style of play. That's kind of what we did. And I think next year, we have a second year guy coming back, and you kind of take that next step now the next year. So again, not great numbers, but from what we went to where we are now, it's been a huge improvement. QB drills for us, I'm a big guy on keeping it simple. I think simple is better. I think that when you give the high school kid too much to think about, I think that can hinder what he's doing. And I think that, listen to Will Hewitt talk the other day about quarterback drills. He's really good in talking about static movements and guys just thinking too much about what they're supposed to do within their drill. I think when you give your guy too much to think about, things become unfluid. And what I mean by that is that it's not fluid. You see a guy talking about his hand placement and then putting the ball up to his ear and then throwing it, or looking at his feet, in his drop or wherever it may be. I think the more that you can get your guy to just be fluid and give your guy cue words to coach off of and listen to, the better. A lot of our drills today for the RPO is going to have to do with the lower half, because everything is quick release movement. And I think when you got good feet, you got a good chance to deliver a football. We talk about it all the time, good feet, good throw. And I think that's a huge part in making sure that your quarterback can deliver the football on time and accurately. And then the arm talent will come. Every throw is important. I think that's important to keep in mind. But I think that, when you're talking about high school kids and quarterback wise, you're dealing with a lot of different guys that have different arm talent. Sometimes you're going to get that guy like a Deshaun Kaiser that came through Central that was just all world, talking about arm talent. But then our guy right now, he's 5'10", 5'11" on a good day, doesn't have a cannon for an arm, but he can really drive the football down the field in the play action game, and he can RPO really well. And I think when you give him the tools with the feet, to be able to work through his progressions and get the football out quick. Like I said, good feet, good throw. You're going to have a lot of success. So our EDDs, when we talk about RPO stuff, a lot of our stuff today that I'm going to show you guys is quick release drills. When we work this stuff every day in Indy, I think the big thing that guys run into, and I think the big thing that people don't really think about when they're trying to overhaul their system or they're trying to go to an RPO system. I think that they just think they're going to call RPOs and team, and your quarterback's going to have the knowledge and the skill set to be able to deliver the football. When you're just telling him, hey, to read this walk-up defender or read that outside linebacker, that Sam or that nickel. It goes a lot more in depth than that. And he's got to work that stuff in individual drills, group drills, and team drills, and then you got to drill them on the whiteboard and the film room. It can't just be, hey, we're going to start calling RPOs and we're not giving our guy any tools to understand where and why he's going places with the football and where his footwork needs to be, most importantly, when he talks about, throwing RPOs. So having that mindset is huge. You're going to hear me talk a lot today about easy and hard way, from a natural throwing stance to an unnatural throwing stance in your stance and start. And then we're going to talk about, stuff like back away, walk away drills, turn two, like a shortstop. I think a lot of times, when you're playing shortstop, you're moving your feet towards first base, you're catching and throwing, get rid of it quick. It's the same thing with the quarterback when you're throwing your missile screen out to the boundary, or you're throwing your stick route or whatever it may be, or your quick out. It's all the same footwork and same movement for a quarterback. Quick grip. I'm a big guy. Jarrett Troxer and I are good buddies, the Maslin OC, and we talk a lot about just a lot of quarterback play stuff. And he's a big guy and making sure he wants his guys to have laces. I agree with that, but I also think that your quarterback has to rep within his RPO arsenal, throwing without the laces, because those RPOs happen so quick sometimes, and the ball has to be out so quick that that he's got to have some familiarity with throwing the football without the laces. So, and then the biggest thing, the last thing that everybody talks about is your read, ride, pop. When you talk about footwork, there's a same side stance that he needs to get into with his feet. And then there's an opposite side stance that we talk about. We talk about a 90 degree and a 45 degree. And that's big for their footwork in terms of getting back to that platform and their pop, to make sure they can deliver a football. So just some EDDs that we do every day that I'm going to show you guys the drills for. And then we'll talk about splitting that the RPO game into seeing pre and post snap pictures for our guys. So in the RPO drills, like what we talked about, again, you got to give your guy the tools to be able to succeed when we talk about RPOs. You can't just say, hey, go run this RPO, and him not have any idea what he should be doing with his footwork. So we'll start from the base. Big thing for us is every throw is a big throw. From the time you warm up to the time you're going into the game, obviously, to throw the football, every throw is a big throw. I think the days of just your quarterback grabbing the football and screwing around and throwing it is not going to do any good for him. So like we say all the time, every throw is a big throw. So good feet, good throw. Making sure our feet's good in our warm-up, and making sure our warm-ups are proper in terms of making sure that we have a good throw every single time. There's always three distinct movements that we talk about, but we're trying to make those movements fluid into one. We give our guy three things to think about with his feet and then his hips, and a pop mentality, meaning a 1-2 step with your feet. But those movements are all fluid, and I don't want them to do three different steps, like boom, static movement 1, boom, static movement 2, boom, static movement 3. I want them to be fluid all at one time, if that makes sense. And then your throwing stance is really important with your hips, making sure your hips are in the right spot. I think that if you give your guy, if your quarterback has the right hips and the right feet, he's going to give himself a chance to deliver a good football. And the quick hips, the quick, violent movements that we're going to show today is all important in terms of the RPO aspect. All right, so when we warm up, okay, this is what I'm talking about, just a static movement here. This is the only static movement really that we're going to do. But again, we're just going to get in that natural throwing stance, okay? And we're going to throw the football back and forth to each other about 5 yards apart, all right? Just nice and easy. And then slowly, gradually, they're going to work their way back to 10 yards apart, 15 yards apart. And really, all we're trying to do is get that fluid movement going in terms of being in a static spot and then getting the ball out in a quick release. Our guys aren't doing a very good job here of getting the ball out quick. I would like more violent throwing, more violent movements. But nonetheless, this is what we do with to start every day. You can notice the turn of the hips from both of them, okay, to their throwing side, all right, up on the balls of their toes, and delivering a good football. Really, this drill ramps up when they get back to about the 10-yard marker, the 15-yard marker, because then they really got to pop their hips and they really got to pop quick release with the football. Okay, and then now we're going to go easy way. So notice with the easy way here, okay, easy way means that his opposite foot is going to be slightly ahead of his throwing side, if that makes sense. So when you teach a kindergartner how to throw any type of ball, what do you teach them with? Opposite foot forward first, correct? Same thing with the quarterback here. His opposite foot is his left foot, so that foot is going to be forward, okay? And then his right foot, it's not going to be an enormous step. I don't want his foot back here. It's just a slight 6-inch step. When you talk about your natural throwing position when you go to throw the football, this is it right here for a lot of guys. And getting into that natural throwing stance is important for those guys to see. Okay. So again, they're just going to twist their hips, throw the football, get rid of it. Okay. As quickly as they can. I'll run that through for you guys one more time. Hopefully it wasn't choppy, but again, he's just kind of flipping his hips, quick, violent movements, and getting rid of the football. Now, notice our guy here, now he's going hard way, okay? Remember I talked to you guys about how we're going to go easy way, hard way. This is the hard way now, okay? So now his right foot is going to be slightly forward about 6 inches with a nice base, okay, a good platform. He's not outside the framework of his body here. He's in a nice, easy spot. But now he's throwing that football with the same side foot forward. Okay, so now he's really got to twist the hips and overcompensate for those RPOs that you're going away from your natural throwing side, if that makes sense. So he's going to twist his hips and then just quick release again. Okay, and again, I'm not a big guy on if a guy's got a real elongated release or he's quick here with the ear. Again, I just want them to be fluid and be comfortable through that throwing motion. Same thing with our guy over here, okay? He's got his right foot slightly forward. All right, he's up on the balls of his feet. And again, this drill really ramps up when you get to about 10, 15 yards away. They really have to flick the wrist and pop the football. Now we'll talk about back away, easy way, hard way, okay? So this one is basically going to have their back towards their target. And when on my command, when I yell ball, they're just going to pop their feet, twist, and throw the football. They're not going to jump in the air and leave the ground. Okay, they're going to do, like I talked about, it's going to be a boom, boom, 1, 2. Okay, and really what we want is we want that back foot to land first and then the front foot to land second. That way you can get that nice plant foot, that back foot here first and foremost, and then the front foot can come down afterwards. Again, so his back away is here. I'll let this run through here. That way we don't get any static film. Okay, his back is to me here. Okay, excuse me, his back is to his partner. I'm going to yell ball. And now all he's trying to do is get back to that natural stance and start spot that we started in an easy way when he throws the football. Again, a lot of times when you talk about quick rip RPOs and getting the ball out quick, you know, the quick fluid movements is what it's going to do it for your guy. And him having an idea of where he's going with the football in terms of his feet here is super important. All right. Remember, good feet, good throw. If we have if our footwork is good, we're going to deliver a good ball. Every throw is a big time throw here. Same thing with the other guy. Now, all right. Again, we're going to ease weights. You're going to do that 10 to 15 times, however many times your guys like it. I kind of just let my guys roll through our drills. They're so familiar with it that they do these on their own now in Indy. I just have to make the ball calls. Okay, they know the entire routine. So again, we're getting back to that nice platform. And notice, okay, he's in that platform we talked about here. That opposite foot is slightly forward. When he lands here, okay, he follows through to his target with his hips, all right, and delivers a good football. Now we're going to talk about the hard way. So now he's got to flip over that same side shoulder, okay, that right shoulder to throw the football. And we don't want both feet to ever leave the ground. So he should not be hopping up in the air. It should be, again, boom, boom, 1, 2. That makes sense? Boom, boom, 1, 2. Boom, boom, 1, 2. So really the key words that I'm using to him are pop, pop. I'm saying ball, pop, pop, and then he's throwing the football. Let that roll through so you guys can see that. Same thing over here with our guy. I'm going to say ball. He's going to pop, pop. And again, you're just trying to get back to that throwing platform that you started off with in your stance and start. You're trying to deliver a good football, getting your eyes to a target from not seeing a target. Okay, you're going static from not seeing a target to all of a sudden you're flipping and you're finding your target right now. You talk about RPOs, that's how they happen a lot of times. You talk about your stick or your quick out, your missile, your bubble, whatever it may be. You're reading and riding a defender, and now you're turning your head and you're throwing the football to an RPO guy. You got to be able to take your eyes from one spot and get them to another spot to throw the football. And they have to be used to this stuff. So this is stuff you got to work every day for your RPO drills. Now we're going to walk away. Okay, because we're literally going to use the same drill. We're going to go easy way and walk away now. So I'm going to yell, walk. Those guys are going to walk away. Ball. Pop, pop. And he's getting back to that platform again. Same thing going back. Ball. Pop, pop. Notice our guy down here. He brought both his feet off the ground at the same time. He did a hop. I'm not looking for a hop. Again, I talk about 1, 2, pop, pop. Okay, that's what we're looking for here. We're not looking for a hop. We're looking for a pop, pop. You got to keep one foot planted in the ground at all times. That way you can give yourself a good base and a good power position to release the football. If he jumps up and down and then he lands both of his feet on the ground at the same time, he's in a bad spot to deliver, or to, excuse me, to generate power, to generate his hips to throw the football. Same thing going back. Walk away. Ball. Every throw is a big time throw. Constantly saying that to your guys. That way, this isn't just a screw around warm up session. You guys know what I mean? Every throw is a big time throw. Walk away. Pop, pop, ball. Now we're going hard way. Okay. So notice, I'll rewind it for you guys here. He's walking away. Now he's turning over that same side shoulder after walking away. 3 distinct movements, but I all want it to be fluid. Good. Just getting the feet going, getting the hips going. Same thing going back with our other guy here. Again, notice how he's flipping and jumping up in the air. We don't want that. We want to pop, pop. Turn 2. Okay, when you turn 2, we're talking about a shortstop throwing the, he's turning the double play. He's catching the football. He's getting rid of it right now. Okay, same thing with a shortstop. He's catching the baseball. He's getting rid of it right now. All right. So this drill, you can snap it to him on your own, or you can have him throw a snap up in the air. I'd like it if they toss the snap up a little bit higher so they can get a nice fluid movement going. But he's going to toss himself a snap, and then we're treating. There's a receiver over in this area over here, and you can put him in different spots. You can put him in a spot where your missile would be, your boundary missile. You can put him in a spot where your stick concept would be. You can put him in a spot where your speed out would be. All those things, and this is treated as a pre-snap RPO type drill, or that post-snap RPO where whoever you're reading, that boundary linebacker or that field side nickel Sam, and he's tight to the box and your quarterback knows, okay, I can get rid of the football right now. I'm throwing my RPO. He's going to quick rip it and get rid of it right now. We want his feet, okay, moving towards the target over here. All right, we want his feet moving and generating towards the target. So I think a lot of times when you talk about a read, ride, RPO, a guy rides it out, sometimes that back foot gets stuck in the sand, I call it. And we don't want him getting stuck in the sand. We want that thing moving and fluid towards your target. So you're going to catch it, snap it to himself, move his feet to his target, get rid of the football. Remember, this is all quick release stuff. Same thing going back. Now, this drill, he's just clearing it. So let's say the running back is to the same side of him. The previous drill, the running back was over here. He was away. Okay, now the running back is to his same side, and he's going to ride mesh over here. Okay, but let's say, again, that pre-snap RPO or that post-snap RPO, you've got a clear picture, and the quarterback knows I'm throwing it right now, so I can say, screw the ride mesh. I'm going to throw the RPO right now. Well, if the running back's to that same side he's throwing to, he's got to be able to clear him, and he's got to alert the back that he's going to throw this thing just by saying, hey, throwing it. Okay, so he's going to take a step back, almost like the shortstop does in baseball when he's clearing the sliding runner. Okay, the guy's sliding the second. Same thing the shortstop's doing. Okay, he's just clearing the running back now to throw the football. One step back, ball. Here's a better picture. Again, you can put this guy wherever you like. You can put him in where we would run a missile. You can put him in over here where you'd run a stick route. You can put them in where you'd run a speed out. Okay, all that different angles, and it works even better when if you've got time, like the time of like your quarterback just screwing around on the sideline during defense needs to be done. If he doesn't play defense, this is the time where he can work all of this stuff, because you guys know how it is. When you get in the season, your indie time is 5-10 minutes tops. So this is all the stuff you can be doing during defensive time to make sure that your guy's getting his work in terms of your RPO game. Every throw is a big time throw. Okay, now he's going hard way now here. So he's going to the same side throwing shoulder, all right? So now he's really got to turn, okay? And he's got to turn and get to a spot where he can deliver the football. Again, we're still looking for that pop, pop. Catch the snap, pop, pop, ball. This stuff all has to be, this movement's got to be repped in Indian group before he goes and throws the RPOs in team. Same thing. Catch, ball. Always simulate a snap. That's the big thing we tell our guys is we're always simulating a snap. And again, this is perfect for right now. If you guys got obviously we can't be together with our guys right now during this coronavirus stuff. So this is stuff that they can all be doing right now, with a brother, with the sister, with a dad, an uncle, a friend. If they're near, each other's house, it's got to be less than 10 people. But this is all stuff they can be doing right now. Here it is from the side view again. We're just trying to get the hips to a good spot, quick and violent, pop, pop, ball. Again, notice how our guy's not jumping up in the air and spinning his hips. Okay, it's 3 distinct movements. It's catch, 1, 2, 3, ball. Same side here, easy way. Okay, I like our guy here. He's got a quick release. He's good with his feet here. Pop, pop, ball. His platform, his base never gets too wide outside of the framework of his body. Same thing, he's going to catch, and he's going to clear the back here. Catch and clear. Again, this is giving him the tools to know what to do with the football in all these different RPO aspects. Now, here's a picture of the quick, here's a quick rip, turn 2, right? He's just going to catch. This is his easy way because he's going to that non-throwing side. All right, easy way. He's going to catch, get rid of the football. And now he's not sailing this football 5 feet over this receiver's head up here out of bounds, to you as a coach on the sideline, because he's familiar with the damn footwork from day one. Every throw is a big time throw. Doesn't matter where or when you're going with the football. Every throw is a big time throw. Again, same thing. Catch, get rid of it. Turn 2. Would I like his feet moving a little bit more, quicker, more violent? Yes, but he still delivers a strike. Here it is from the back view. Catch, ball. Now he's going opposite way here. Okay, literally the drill I just showed you guys before, and he's flipping his hips, ball. Again, it goes back to what I said from when we started. This is all feet and all hips. I've not once talked about arm. It's all feet, all hips. Now here's our quarterback. He's clearing the back. Okay, again, here is his read for the RPO. Okay, look how tight he is to the box. This is telling us right now, all right, throw the damn football. We don't even need to ride this out. We can throw it right now. Okay, but again, he's now has a back on his side, so he's got to alert the back and then clear the back. That way we're not throwing the football on the back's helmet. Again, if you're not working this in your Indian group time, the quarterback has zero idea how to clear the back and throw the football. Quick rip, no laces, like I talked about before. I'm a big guy on, I want guys to have laces, but I'm big on, they need to be familiar with throwing without laces, because so often, so many times, if they're messing with trying to find the laces on the RPO, it causes the throw to be late, or it causes the throw to not be on time. So again, he's got to have familiarity. So a drill that we do, which I don't have it on here, and I wish I did, but if I'm the quarterback coach here, I'm standing here, put your receivers out here. You can do a missile guy. You can do a guy standing out here for a hitch. And then you could do a guy in the third window here for like your glance RPO that a lot of people are running nowadays. And you can just drop the ball into the quarterback's bucket right here. He catches it and he throws the football to each level. Okay. And again, you're emphasizing try to throw it without the laces during that drop. Not a very good job blocking out here by our wideouts, but nonetheless, you guys get the idea for the quarterback. Again, he knows right now he's throwing this football out to the left. He should be getting his feet moving, catching the football to get it out. If he's taking a second to try to flip it and find the laces, that's a half a second that we're losing with this quick RPO out here. Now here's the ride pop that everybody talks about. This is your read, ride, pop with all your post-snap RPOs, things of that nature. So again, we do two different things. We do a quick shoulder rip, and then we do a long ride it out, okay? when I talk about quick shoulder rip, again, that's for your read guys tight the box and you know you're going to get rid of it right now, but you're going to same side RPO it real fast. Okay, it's not opposite side, it's same side. So we're going to quick shoulder it. Notice our guy, his back foot, he is turning 90 degrees, okay, to the sideline here. The back is to his right here, and we're meshing here, okay? Notice his shoulders. He's in a good spot because his hips and his shoulders are still pointed towards the target, okay? And when he quick shoulders it, he's just going to really manipulate that defender with a quick shoulder ride. It's really not a long dip in and ride in terms of falling forward with his feet. He's just really doing all his manipulation with his shoulder. And then he's getting back to a good ride, pop, pop, ball, okay? Now he's going to ride it out. So now he's really got to manipulate that defender. He's going to turn, and anything that's same side to a right-handed quarterback, okay, like we talked about, right-handed quarterback, same side, we teach a 90-degree open up, ride in, stick the ball into the belly of the running back, and really show, because again, when he gets back to his platform to throw, he's already in that spot. It's an easy way for him, like we talked about all along. This is easy for him, okay? And then we'll show you the hard way here in a minute where we just go a 45-degree step. And then again, he's pop, pop, ball. Ride, pop, ball. Ride, pop, ball. And again, something that I teach our guys is that if you want to hand the ball to the back, tip the point of the football into his belly to alert the running back. Okay, clamp on it, go. If you just keep that ball straight up and down in your ride, and the running back knows this as well, you keep that ball straight up and down in your ride, that's going to alert the running back that I can pull this thing at any time. Here's a long ride out again. He's going to read, ride, pop. Okay, here's a good drill that we got from Toledo. Our backup quarterback's dad was the OC at Toledo this past year, Brian Wright, who's now at Pitt State, but we got this drill from them. Any C-gap RPO that you're doing where you really got to read a defensive end and then you got to read a second-level defender out here, okay, this is a good drill to incorporate into your mesh. You get another coach to stand out here, okay? You give your first read with the running back, all right? If he dives, right, you're going to pull and then you're throwing your bubble or your stick or whatever it may be out here. But that's a good way to incorporate. Like now we just make our mesh drill our RPO drill. That's what we call it RPO drill. But we work our mesh with our running backs there. Receivers are catching balls in the RPO pod that they're in, and you're grouping everything together in your personnel at that time. That way you're running back, your quarterback, and your guys, your wide receivers, you're getting all the work there. Here's our other guy going a quick rip. He needs to do a little bit more shoulder dip here. He's just catching and throwing this thing. Not a very good job here. Better here. Now he's reading and riding it out. Ride, pop, ball. Okay, drop the hips. Okay, really sell the mesh point. Ball. Same thing here. You can stick your guy catching the ball anywhere. Okay, you're just simulating all your RPOs. You're simulating your RPO tree. Now here's your opposite side where you got to go 45-degree, okay? Not a very good job on our guy here. Really what I want here is I want his right foot coming forward, okay, where this back foot is staying planted and he's on a 45-degree angle where he can pop, pop, throw the football. There it is. There's a difference. That's a good one right there, okay? He's catching, riding, pop, ball. Again, he's not going a complete 90 because, again, this is his hard way now. He's got to get back to a good throwing platform. So he's only going 45 because he's going opposite way. Here's a read ride, okay, just to give you guys an idea of what we're talking about here. Read, ride, pop, ball. Manipulating defenders. Here's the back view of it. Read, ride, pop, ball. Here's another one, okay. Now this is his easy way here, okay. He's going to turn 90-degree. Really, he could have been even more with that left foot there, but he's going to ride, pop, ball. Good job by the DB there. Here's the front. Here's the end zone cam. Really get a good view of it. There's the mesh point. Okay, even more so, he can probably stick that mesh point in there a little bit tighter. Okay, but now he's got to get back to his pop, pop, ball. Here it is again. Now he's going his hard way again. Read, ride, pop. Again, he's jumping up in the air here. I don't like that. I'd rather have a pop, pop. Notice he jumps in the air. Notice the ball. We got a ball that's a little bit high, and we got a ball that's flopping over there like a duck call. Not something that we want. But again, nonetheless, it still got the job done. I don't want the jump in the air like that. I want the pop, pop. Defense isn't set. Tempo is great for RPOs too. Again, this is where we talk about getting that back foot stuck in the mud. You don't want this back foot stuck in the mud because then they have a tendency to throw off, and then their shoulders dip, their back shoulder dips, their front shoulder goes up, and then you tend to have a ball. You have a tendency to have balls sail on you. You don't want that. Okay, you want him moving. If he knows he's throwing this thing, just clear the back and go. There doesn't even need to be a ride fake with the mesh. Now here it is again. He's going to go on his 45 degrees. So this right foot is going to come 45. This left foot's going to stay planted. Again, because this is his hard way. So he's got to get back to his good platform to throw. Ride, pop, ball. Here it is from the back view. Ride, pop, ball. Ride, pop, quick three. This is for anything you want to do in terms of play action pass in your RPO game as well. Okay, so you can ride, quick three, and we talk about getting on a skate here. Okay, so his back foot, we talk about getting on a skate so he can then plant and drive back on his quick three. Ride, quick three, ball. That's for anything that you're going to play action, all right? And then he's got to get a quick three drop in. Here's an example of it. That would be his opposite side, not his same side. Quick three, pop, pop. We end up climbing up into the pocket, not delivering a good football, but you guys get the gist. Okay, now we talk about seeing pre and post snap pictures in your run pass option or your RPO philosophy. Okay, when you talk about implementing the RPO, I think again, we don't want to get it twisted. We want to establish a downhill run. We want to be a team that wants to run the ball first. We're calling RPOs to open up the run game for ourselves. We're not calling RPOs to throw the football. I think a lot of people get that twisted when they talk about we're going to call more RPOs because we want to throw the football more. No, we're calling RPOs to get lighter boxes to show that we can still threat on the outside. We can drive the ball vertically down the field. We can still stretch it horizontally just to open up so we can get that 5-man box, that 6-man box and shit, even sometimes, that 4-man box. And then when we talk about grouping your personnel and your RPOs, I think it's important though. So, your guys that are just going to run your bubbles and your sticks, when you're repping those things, when we rep RPOs, we half line them. So like a lot of teams half line their quick game stuff and ROAs, routes on air. We do the same thing for our RPOs. We half line it and we work it every day where we go our RPO tree where we'll start with bubble and missile. From the outside guys are running missile, inside guys are running bubble. Then we'll go hitch and stick. Both guys are running hitch and stick. Then we'll work our screen game into that too. So we'll work our jailbreak screens into that. That way we're working that RPO tree in a half line type deal. So you're grouping your personnel in terms of certain guys are getting certain looks. And that way I know, as a pass game guy, I know that our guys got, our inside guys all got stick and bubble this week. That's the RPO we like for them. Our outside guys all got missile and our glance Seattle route. That's the RPOs we like for them this week. And then you can mess around with your tight ends too, your arrows and your pop routes, which we did a little bit, but not a whole lot. But you're just grouping your personnel to work that stuff. And then reps are king, like I talked about. Everybody has a tendency, I think, when you're a first-time RPO team to just call it in team. It's so important to rep that stuff in indie and to rep that stuff in group and your half-line scale, your RPO stuff. That way you're successful in team, because what happens when you're a first-time RPO team? You call RPOs and they look like garbage in team, and then you don't call it again because you're afraid of what it's going to look like. Well, if you're working it in indie and group, then in team, it's going to look good. And then you go back on the tape and you teach, okay? That's really important for us, and that's kind of how we break it up. All right, some thoughts on RPOs. When you're talking pre- and post-snap RPOs, you don't want to lose protection. You hear Brent Dearman talk about that all the time. You want to be C-gap to C-gap protected if you're reading second-level players, okay? We have the same philosophy and mentality. I've kind of molded two kind of philosophies into one in terms of teaching our guys RPOs, and I'll talk to you about it in here in a minute. You always want to mess with conflict players, right? So if you are reading a D-gap guy, you're usually protected D-gap to D-gap, you're usually protected C-gap to C-gap. If you're reading a C-gap, right, you're leaving a C-gap guy unblocked, that's your triple option RPO. So your quarterback has to be aware of what is what, You can't just call RPOs and not your quarterback's not aware of where he's unprotected at. And easiest to teach, in my opinion, is inside zone. That's what everybody usually starts with. But I think when you talk about nowadays, a lot of people are starting to dabble in the gap scheme stuff. And I think gap scheme brings biggest risk, but most reward, because you're manipulating linebackers' eyes at that point with a lot of your gap scheme, because those guys are taught to read polars, right? But then what you got to do is you got to teach your quarterback that anytime that we gap scheme something, we are adding a gap to the front side. So let's say you go power, okay? Let's say balls, let's say you're going left side power with your H-back, your kick out power to the left, same side give. Your quarterback's got to know, okay, I'm adding a gap to that front side, but I'm also losing one on the back side. So I got to know where I'm unprotected at. Okay. And then your different levels of RPOs. I treat them as 3 different levels. You got your first level stuff, which is your bubble, your missile, your arrows. You got your second level stuff, which your first level stuff is a lot of horizontal movement. This stuff is you get middle, you get vertical here. And then your third level stuff is when you're trying to take your shot, your middle of the field glance, your post, things like that. You're trying to take your shot with your RPO game. So how we teach is we teach a rule of 3 split. So basically what we do is we ask our guys, what side of the field do you want to play ball on? We do count numbers, but I think that, and I've heard guys say that they don't like to count numbers. I think if it's taught the right way, you can do it. And we do teach our guys the right way. So that's important. And you teach your guys how to count numbers. What does 3 over 2 look like? What does 2 over 2 look like in terms of the outside stuff? What does a box of 5 look like? What does a box of 6 look like? And what does a box of 7 look like? So the first thing he's going to do is, let's picture ball left hash, okay, trips to the field, backside receiver, your X receiver into the boundary, and then you got tailback offset right to the quarterback. Okay, first thing our guy's going to do is we're just running traditional zone stick RPO here. He's going to count the box. If we get 5, all right, or less, he better hand the damn football off, because that's a great box for us to run the football. Now, if we add a tight end into the box, what's the defense going to do? More than likely, they're going to add a 6th defender in the box. So this count can go up, if that makes sense, okay? That count can now expand, so that way those guys know, okay, now we've got 6 for 6 in our hats. We've got 7 for 7, whatever it may be. If you're in your traditional open set 3-by-1 with a 10 personnel, your 6th guy in that box, you got to influence him. So that's where your read, ride, pop RPO comes into play. If he plays run, you're pulling and throwing whatever RPO you've got attached to it. If he plays pass, hand the football off. And then 7, if you ever get 7 or more in the box, he should find out, quarterback's got to know right now, okay, that's where that pre-snap RPO comes into play, where he's just catching and throwing that thing right now. He's clearing the back. All those sorts of things that we just talked about in the indie drills. He's doing all that so he can get the football out now. Then what he's going to do is he's going to check his single receiver. I think oftentimes, as a young quarterback, those guys forget that they've got that backside vertical shot they can take, or it's a conversion route. So if we got a corner that's pressed on us, we're going to go vertical. This is what our conversion route is. If we got a corner that's bailing on us, that's 5 yards or deeper, or he's getting the heck out of there, then we're just going to run a hitch. And really all you're trying to do on that front side to your zone, because let's say, again, you've got ball left hash, trips to the field, your back is offset right, you're pushing the zone to the boundary. If that D-gap defender, okay, is getting into that run fit on the front side, you can make him right, or make him wrong, I should say, by pulling and throwing this conversion route over here, because now he either has to play pass or he's got to play run. He can't play both. So as a QB coach, you got to remind your guy of that vertical shot you can take backside, or that hitch route that's just easy pitch and catch, and that's your pre-snap RPO. Again, what side of the field do you want to play ball on? Then number 3, you got your ride it out post-snap RPO. Again, so this is your pre stuff, okay? And then this is your post stuff. So pretty simple stuff. Okay, pre-snap versus post-snap picture. Again, in our pre-snap stuff, the back is away from the quarterback, like we talked about before. It's a lot of times it's a free access throw. It's our conversion route, or we can quick shoulder that stuff. Again, your post-snap RPO is your box run. You're influencing somebody, and a lot of times you're riding it out with your running back, okay? 3-by-1 stick, this is something we do, and these are just very generic drawings for you guys. Again, here's our conversion route, okay? It's a 5-yard hitch. If we get a press corner, he's going to go vertical right now, okay? Your stick route, all right, number 3 is going on the play side, is going to run a 4-yard stick, and he's going to sit it down. Some people work that guy out. Okay, we've done a lot of different things. Right now, we just have him sit it down, all right? Some people run the speed out right here. We decide to run the bubble. We just think we expand better, and we do a lot of bubble anyway, so it just works for us. And then your vertical release go here, your more mandatory outside release go from number 3. Okay, pushing the zone to the boundary here. Again, we're going to count the box 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got to influence somebody, right? Okay, this guy is being taken care of by the bubble. Okay, and this safety is dropping down in the box, all right, to take care of this cat. Just because we have 6 in the box doesn't mean we have to throw the RPO. We're just going to influence. So if this guy backs out, our read guy, we're going to hand the football off. He doesn't come downhill right away, so we're going to hand the football off. When in doubt, tell your quarterback to hand the ball. Eyes are on 42. He just kind of hangs out, hand the football. Same thing here. We're reading 42 again with our stick concept. Okay, we got your bubble over here. That's taking care of this nickel, this Sam back, or this extra DB, Sam backer. All right, this guy plays run. We're going to pull throw the stick right now. Again, here's your backside conversion route. All right, this guy's going to hitch up. Now, this probably isn't a good throw because look where the corner's playing. He's playing inside leverage here, and you got the threat of this guy getting to the flat, so your conversion route's off. So now you're just looking at your post-snap RPO. Read, ride, pop, ball. Now, sometimes what can happen here is here's our read key here, okay? Now, what can happen is they flex this guy out and he plays the apex, all right? And sometimes he can drive down on the stick and take the stick away as well, all right? So what you can do is you can tell your quarterback just to transition to the bubble because now we got 2-on-1 out here with these guys. This is what our quarterback does. He drives on the stick. It's still a good box. Which side of the field do you want to play ball on, right? Okay, you split it into thirds. Okay, you got your box third. You got your conversion third, which this is a bad look because they basically got 2-on-1 out here, but we've got 3-on-2 out here. Okay, so we're going to pull throw and just move on to the bubble because he's slammed down on the stick. Then you can talk to your quarterback when he comes out, for sideline huddle, and you can ask him which side of the field did you like to play ball on, and he can tell you. Okay, again, now we're going to throw the conversion route over here. All right. That D-gap defender to the front side, he's getting into the run fit now, okay? And really, they got 7 guys in the box, so where you should pull throw this, backside, ball. It's just a quick, easy pitch and catch. That's your pre-snap RPO there. Now, again, here it is where you slam it down, and you can tell your guy, hey, don't forget about taking that vertical shot. Okay, so now this is a great way to take a vertical shot here as long as we're protected up front. Again, if you are doing any kind of C-gap RPO where you're going tight zone and you're leaving a guy unblocked here, your quarterback can't pull and throw this one-on-one because he's going to get hit in the mouth. But if you're protected C to C up here, then he has the ability to pull throw that because he knows, okay, I'm C to C protected and I've got time to pull and throw the football. Quick flash fake, gets the ball out. He knows he's going to go vertical and take a shot. Great way to take a shot and have it incorporated with your run game. 3-by-1 bubble and missile. Again, we're running bubble just like everybody else. Same deal here. Pre-snap RPO side here. Post-snap over here. Okay. Same deal. All right. Something else we do too, we like to run our missile screen into the boundary. So we're going to go MDM here. Okay. Number 3 is going to kick out block on the corner. Again, this could be a bunch of different things. If you got a Will line or Sam or a Will that's flexing out here, he's MDM here, boom. Let's say you have a safety that rolls down here and this guy stays in the box. There's your MDM there. And now this is a true just pre-snap RPO for our guy. It's not a post-snap and a pre-snap. It's just a true pre. Because if he's got good numbers, meaning we are 3/2 over here, okay, then great, throw this. If not, if they're mono for us right here, all right, then you should just push the zone and hand the zone off to the field, look for a bounce back play. Trying to throw post-snap RPO here, because remember, the back is to him, so this is your post-snap side. Trying to throw post-snap RPO, that's just a really hard throw to throw the ball from the left hash to the right hash for a high school kid. So I never really teach our guy to do that. I just teach him, hey, this boundary screen that we're doing here, this is just a true pre-snap read for you to count the numbers, play ball on what side of the field you want to go to. Here's our bubble like we talked about. We're read, ride, and pop, throw the football, okay? Again, here's our influence guy. We've got 7 in the box, or excuse me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This guy's iffy, could be 6, 7 right here. He should get rid of this football right now. We got 3-on-2 out there. Go play ball. How am I doing on time, Doug?
Hey, you're good. Keep rolling.
Now here's our missile screen into the boundary like we talked about. Again, this is a great play for tempo here too. Again, he's just going to count numbers again. So we're 3-on-2 over here. We got 3 guys to their 2. Okay, we're going to push the zone to the field here again for a field cutback. All right. Again, technically this would be your post-snap RPO, but that's a long, long throw for the quarterback. So I'm just telling him here, hey, this is a true pre-snap RPO read. You don't got to worry about really this thing turns into a pass run option, not an RPO. It turns into a PRO on this play just because based off the numbers count here up front. So he's going to count it. He likes his numbers game, so he's going to turn and throw that thing real quick. And again, that's just an extension of your run game. Really good play for tempo. If the numbers count was bad over here, he would just turn and hand zone. Okay, now here's when we talk about quarterback having to know what kind of protection he has up front. If we are mano-a-mano up front here and we're basically zone locking this thing and we're locking the backside, he can pull throw the one-on-one. He also has to know his matchup too. Okay, I don't like this matchup with our 5'6" dude on this corner out here from Akron Hoban. So I'm not sure. This was a young guy, and he decides to pull throw the vertical concept here, which is okay. But again, if he doesn't know what's going on with the protection up front, we're going to leave a guy unblocked because this is a triple option RPO type deal here, and he was not aware of that. So we're doubling down to here. This guy comes free. He decides to throw his one-on-one, and he gets hit in the mouth from a kid who just got an offer from Alabama. And that's just not understanding your protection up front. So I wanted to show you guys that too. But again, if we were to lock this backside here and turn it into a true D-gap RPO instead of a C-gap RPO, then he could always pull throw that one-on-one out there. Okay, but this was a young guy early in the scrimmage season, and I wanted you guys to see that if he's not aware of what his protection is like up front and what you're doing in the run game, because RPOs is just the same thing as pass pro, right? You're either going to be protected C to C or you're going to be protected or unprotected, basically C to B. Big time hit. All right, again, here's a 2x2 or 2x1 bubble. Okay, we got our H back to the field here. This is a really clean read for our guy. Remember I told you guys about the box count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7 or more. He should throw the thing now. All right, let's go play 2-on. I'd rather play 2-on-2 out here than play 8-on-7 in here, 8-on-6 in here. And now one thing that your guys got to understand too, that you got to coach up is MDM blocking rules, most dangerous man blocking rules. Technically, this is his guy. But if this guy triggers, we want him to wall him off here, and let's go play one-on-one with our bubble guy out here because we got the sideline to help us out too. That's what he does here. He doesn't have a great block. He actually gets his butt run over, but he does the job. And we go play one-on-one out here with our guy. Make corners tackle, man. Anytime we can make corners tackle, that's great for us. Again, seeing your pre and post snap picture. Okay, again, this is just going to be a pre-snap RPO for us. We're just going to GT this thing. So we're going to down, 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 and then we're GTing back here. Okay, and we're reading this cat. Because this is a pre-snap RPO. Why? Because the back is away from that side, right? Okay, there's no threat of a post-snap RPO over here because we got tight end backside locked, all right? So really all he's doing is reading this guy pre-snap. If that guy's tight to the box, he can pull throw this bubble. If this guy just kind of hangs out and he's playing number 3, then we're just going to hand GT. Okay. Now we go back same side. Okay. Really, again, this should be easy for your guy, right? We talked about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the box. This guy's tight. All right, we've got 3. This is 3-on-2 to me out here. This guy is not a factor. Okay, now this guy's got to be a dude and go block somebody though. And when you're blessed with really good players, it makes this stuff seem really simple. You know, we've got a lot of really good players at Central Catholic, a lot of good athletes. 2x2 bubble stick. Okay, it's the same thing. All right, we can either stick this thing or we can bubble it, whatever we want to do. All right, mandatory outside release go over here. And then again, you can tag whatever you want to the backside. If we bubble it 2x2, both sides are going to bubble. One side's a pre-snap read, one side's a post-snap read. Okay, so if you got good numbers on the pre-snap side, which is the way that the back is away, then you can throw that thing right now if you want. When we stick it, all right, sometimes we tag it with what we call in Ohio, which is a speed out, all right? So it's a lot of different things that you can do, and you can play games, and that's kind of the freedom that we have in our offense. And like I talked to you guys about before, we are able to kind of tag whatever run game we want with whatever RPO concept we like for that week. So again, okay, here's our read key. He just kind of hangs out. So we're going to hand the football on zone. Literally the next play, we tempo it. All right, we go NASCAR, we play fast again. All right, and this guy plays run now, so we should pull throw. And love, for those of you guys that like bubble into the boundary, I think is a great concept. For one, I think when you put your tight end in the field, okay, people are going to overplay that strength to the field because you have a tendency to run back to the field. And then you can really play games with that backside flat defender, especially in an odd look, a 3-4 type look, 3-5 type look. You can play games with that flat defender back there and really, really bubble people to death. Again, here it is. Technically, this is his key read right here. So this is his post-snap RPOs over here. Here's his pre-snap RPO. Both kids are going to bubble, and your MDM right here. Now, this pre-snap look is 3/2, so there's no way in hell that we're going pre-snap look over here, right? This is a post-snap RPO. He's counting his box, and then he's getting right to his post-snap. Now, what he's got to be aware of is sometimes, most of the time, when people blitz or bring edge pressure, right, there's a roll that's happening in the back end. So he has to be aware of that roll down because pre-snap, it looks really, really good. But post-snap, you've got to see, and again, this is teaching the pre-snap, post-snap picture. You have to be aware of the roll down from that backside safety. Could he have thrown this thing? Yes, absolutely. But when in doubt, we're just going to teach him to hand the football off. That's a lot for a high school kid to digest too. Seeing blitz and then seeing both, seeing backside roll. And that's a lot for a high school kid to digest. So if he doesn't throw it there, I'm fine with it. You still get 3, 4, 5, 6 yards on the run game. Again, finding matchups and RPO and matchups is what I would tell you guys is what we do a lot of. Not just RPO and anybody, but RPO and matchups. There's no way that this kid who's really a down lineman playing outside backer here in this 3-4 scheme can hang with the bubble concept over here. Okay. So here's your 6-man box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This guy could be a key read player as well and be your 7th guy. All right. So you got to be aware that he could play run and now he comes hard, pull, throw. Again, there's your post-snap or there's your pre-snap bubble over here. Could you have taken this pre-snap bubble? Yeah, absolutely. He could have pulled, especially since if he saw this blitz front side, okay, he could absolutely, because really we're 2-on-1 because this guy's so high, he's 10 yards off, we're 2-on-1. We could have thrown that right now. But again, this is fine too, read ride. And again, here's your MDM blocking. Don't go block the corner here. Go block this safety, and let's go play one-on-one with the corner. You see, that could have been a touchdown instead of a 10-yard gain. Again, here's the stick concept. All right, we're reading this cat right here. Guys showing blitz. Again, if he shows blitz like we are, there doesn't need to be a ride read. He just needs to quick shoulder it, get rid of the football. Power glance. This is one of our favorite RPOs. We're going to set it to the boundary here. Okay, it's just kick out power, and really, this is really good against the one high safety look. All right, we're just going to read flat defender over here. Some people will do it again. They'll read that third level safety, and if you got a split look like this, okay, with a 2 high, this is a true 3-step when we go 1 high look. But if we have a 2 high look, we're just going to go a 2-step slant, and it's going to be flatter so we can bang it before we hit that safety. So we can run it against a 2 high and a 1 high look. This turned into one of our favorite RPOs. Again, you can pre-snap anything you want out here. Tag it with whatever you feel comfortable with. You can bubble it, okay? You can missile it. Whatever you want to do, you can do whatever you want to that 2 receiver side, but this is your post-snap side over here. Here's our read key right here. Really good against a one high look. Here's our read. Again, if that kid just plays flat-footed and doesn't play the run, just tell your quarterback to hand the football off. Better be safe than sorry. And again, we added a guy to the box here. Okay, so our box count is going to increase now, if that makes sense. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is the influence guy because we added it. We increased it by 1 because we added a guy to the box. All right, so your quarterback's aware of that. Now he becomes our influence guy. He stays flat-footed so we don't hand it. Very next play, we run it again. Ride, pop, ball. One of our best RPOs this year. Really like it a lot. Really tough to defend. One of these. I learned this when I was at Bowling Green with Coach Babers, Roger Lewis, and Garrick Dieter, Matt Johnson. Those guys, we ran the heck out of this RPO. We read third level defenders there, but I just think it's easier for a high school kid to read a second level linebacker that kind of gives you a good pre-snap look rather than trying to read that safety that's up on the hash here and come down and play run. That's really tough for a high school kid to do. If they just dropped this guy out and played him here, we would then, our read count would just go here. Okay, so if that guy were to play run, we would just two-step it and bang it right in here. Here's your opposite side read here. Okay, again, there's your cat here that you're reading against Detroit Catholic Central. He's going to ride this thing out, ride, pop, ball. It's a good job of that quarterback hanging tough. Again, same thing here. You can do it as a front side read, a same side front side read, or you can do it as a backside read coming across and read that backside backer. Again, at a one high look, it's going to be a true three-step slant. And a two high look, he's going to basically 1-2 it, and he's going to come flat right out of his break. Really good, clean read for your quarterback in a post-snap RPO. If any of you guys have questions, you can contact me. There's my Twitter up there, my email, my cell phone. Enjoyed talking ball with you guys. Doug, I appreciate you having me on. If there's anything you guys need, please let me know. Again, going back to when you talk about RPO, and I think that you got to give your quarterback the tools to be able to succeed in the RPO game instead of just throwing him out there and saying, "Hey, let's RPO this." He's got to understand what type of RPO he's dealing with, what type of footwork goes with which RPO, and this stuff. A lot of this is drilled in the off season. But once he gets a hang of it, then he knows which footwork goes with what RPO. And then, when you talk about teaching pre and post snap RPOs, I think that, it's great because as a defense, it's tough because really the quarterback's got options on which side of the field he wants to play ball on. He could be good in the run game. He could be good in the post snap game, and he can be good in the pre snap game if you're going to give it to him. So just little stuff we do at Central, and hope you guys got something out of it. And I appreciate you guys having me on.
Thanks a lot, Josh. I got a couple questions. So of the drills you highlighted, how are you doing all of that in your during your Indy time in season?
Yeah. So we'll try, like, let's say you get 10 minutes at Indy during in season. So we're going to highlight that. So like we're going to work because like our guy, we were fortunate enough that our guy didn't play. None of my quarterbacks played defense. So during Indy time, we would highlight all the RPO stuff. And then during defensive time, we would highlight all of our drop back game stuff in the run game, things of that nature. So we would work all of our quick RPO stuff, like those Indy drills that I showed you guys. And then, like I said, in defensive time, we would then work, your pocket presence drill, work your rhythm 3 drop, things of that nature. So if you don't have time to do that, it's a lot to try to get in one Indy session. So I would pick, if I were you guys and you don't have a lot of time, I would pick, what do you want to focus on for the day for your cue. So, but yeah, that's stuff that we do every single day.
Do you guys have a period with your running backs where you're doing mesh stuff?
Yep. So we'll do mesh for 5 minutes, and then we'll do RPO mesh for 5 minutes. We just call it RPO drill. So
Gotcha.
the first 5 will be just quarterbacks and running backs, and we're working all of our true run game stuff. And then the second 5 will be RPO drill. We'll bring the receivers over and we'll work that ROA tree. Basically, like I'm talking, like how I told you guys that, you run your ROAs for your downfield stuff. You do the same thing for your RPO. You work your bubble and your missile. You work your stick and your hitch. You work your Seattle, your glance route, and your quick out, so you work that tree within that second 5 minutes so the running backs can feel that as well.
Yep. I think that's important. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Have you
And I think
played?
that's stuff that goes unnoticed. And, when you're talking about rep and RPOs that, you can't just go and throw these things into team and call them without repping that stuff, without those 3 positions feeling that,
It's like being compared a lot to being like a zone team or a veer team. Like it's not something you can minor in. It's something that you've
Right.
got
You gotta
to invest in.
Yeah. And it's expensive. It's expensive to invest in it, but it pays off dividends. Because those RPOs are such easy completions sometimes, but there's a lot that goes into it. You know?
Yeah, I agree. Have you played with the timing, the departure, that bubble route, like post snap RPO stuff, or is he leaving right at the snap all the time?
That's a good question. No, we haven't messed with it at all. He's just leading right now. So like when I was at Bowling Green, we used to run what we call a horizontal. So that guy would basically just like bucket step into the line of scrimmage, and then he would back. You see the guys that back out, they backpedal out. We did that at Bowling Green, and we did a late one sometimes where, you would go vertical off the line for 2 steps, and then you would back out, so it turned into more of a downfield throw. But no, we don't at Central. We just we bubble, and we just leave it at that. We haven't done any late departure stuff. He just goes right now. Now some guys feel it out different, like Tayshawn Johnson, number 5 that you guys saw on film. He's getting a bunch of D1 looks. He slow plays it a little bit. He doesn't like run the hell out of there right away. So we kind of just give our guys the freedom to kind of feel it out for themselves.
I feel like that's something that teams have started to tweak, the past 3 to 5 years, is the departure of that guy. Some of it is after they ride through with the running back. That bubble is paused until he clears the mesh, and then he's going, so that way he's hitting the alley and he's not ending up too wide. And especially for a team that likes to, like you guys, like to throw it into the boundary a little bit. It just kind of helps you, and especially in 3x1, it helps you hit the alley a little easier, and you don't end up too high.
Well, and you get a savvy type of player, like our guy that runs a lot of the bubble. You get a savvy type of kid that just kind of knows if he's in the boundary, he's got to slow play that thing out. He doesn't really bail out of there right now. He kind of just hangs out. And then when you're bubbling to the field in a 3x1 look, you can kind of get out there to spread the width of the field, So, but yeah, I agree with you. And then I think you see like the teams like Wake Forest that are doing the slow ride mesh, that they're really, really getting deep in there and they're really influencing people and then pulling it late. I think that's something that a lot of people are going to start tweaking with and seeing what they can experiment with in that. So,
yeah, I agree. Well, thanks a lot, Josh. I appreciate you hopping on, talking some ball, man. That's good stuff.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I appreciate you having me on, man.